Hi everyone, it's Lindsay with High Altitude Astrology, and I am bringing you the chart of the full moon in Virgo. That's happening on Friday, the 18th of March at 1:18 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time. And this is an interesting full moon because it's in the sign of Virgo. And I have this full moon pulled up on the screen right now. And it's at 27 degrees of Virgo. And Virgo is the sign of being analytical, being observant, being task-oriented, being humble. These are all Virgoan qualities. It's about really being able to analyze and make decisions based on analysis. But the moon is about our emotions and feelings. So right now we may be feeling a heightened connection to our ability to really analyze from an intuitive and emotional place aspects of our lives. And in some ways kind of express our emotions in a more rational and grounded way, because that's Virgo. It's an earth energy. And full moon times, by the way, are times where we really get to see a full picture of what's been developing over the past couple of weeks since the new moon. So it becomes a time where perhaps things get revealed. And, we again get this really full picture of what's going on in various aspects of our lives. So full moon in Virgo means that there's also the sun in the opposite sign, which is Pisces. And to have the sun, which is our creative light, how we want to shine our light out into the world, is in the sign of Pisces, which is this very compassionate and very sensitive and emotional and empathetic and all of those, ways that we can kind of really give of ourselves to people. And so there's this interesting dynamic at the full moon time because we want to be that Piscean energy of compassion and selfless love and egolessness. But that moon in Virgo definitely allows us to feel and tap into some real specific ways that we might be feeling right now. So this full moon time is just bringing up that sort of contrast or that dynamic. And it's really about how we allow room for both of those, parts of us to exist. And it's really kind of a beautiful energy because, we get the opportunity to kind of hold both of those energies within ourselves, the compassionate way of being, but also having discernment in our lives. And being humble, that's very Virgoan, being helpful, but at the same time kind of understanding from a mental perspective, because even though Virgo's earth, it analyzes what the impact, in a way, our emotions have on situations around us. That's very much a part of this full moon. It's like, how is it that the way that we respond emotionally to the world, what kind of impact does that have on the world? What kind of impact do our emotional choices make on the world? Because even though we want to be, Piscean and compassionate and all of that, Virgo requires being very discerning. And so there could be some lessons coming up or some realizations coming up about that kind of dynamic in our own personal lives. But what's also interesting about this chart is that we just had this Pluto sextiling the sun, Pluto in Capricorn, sextiling the sun in Pisces. And Pluto is all about transformation. It's about soul growth. It's about looking at the shadow, looking at maybe ways that we might try and, influence or manipulate or, get things for ourselves, especially in the sign of Capricorn, because that's been what we've been seeing a lot of over the last few years, is this whole kind of transformation of the way power is used. So this Pluto in Capricorn is harmonizing, sextiling the sun, which means this is really a time at this full moon time where we can step into our own personal power and perhaps shed some of those Plutonian dynamics where, we might be trying to, in some ways, maybe use our power in order to get what we want, or, that kind of, Capricornian sort of climbing the ladder type of ways, where actually, because of the sextile to the sun, we're really able to kind of, again, create some soul growth by stepping into our own power at this time, and really allowing transformation of any shadow elements of ourselves that we might need to let go of in order to really truly be that Piscean sun essence. What's also interesting at this time is that we had a Mercury and Uranus sextile just yesterday. You can see here the Mercury is at about 13 degrees and Uranus is at 12 degrees. So Mercury, 13 degrees of Pisces, Uranus, 12 degrees of Taurus. So this happened yesterday, but it's still sort of in the air. And really what that energy is all about, Mercury in Pisces sextiling Uranus, the awakener, the shocking change energy. In Taurus, what the things that bring us pleasure, the things we find beautiful. So this Mercury is about communicating. And in Pisces, in some ways, it's about communicating what needs to be said in order to allow self-love. That's part of Pisces, is to yes, be empathetic and be compassionate towards others, but also to not discount yourself or not to, martyr yourself. So this Uranus was sort of giving the Mercury in Pisces a little boost, and it probably brought up some needed conversations that people had to have as we were approaching this full moon time. And now that has passed and we are moving more into the actual completion of this full moon tomorrow morning, with this sun sextile Pluto energy, it's just saying that there's going to be more, more to kind of get out, more to transform, more kind of our power to step into. And the last piece about this full moon that I want to address is the fact that the day after the full moon at 5:15 on Saturday morning, Mountain Daylight Time, Venus and Uranus are going to square. And Venus is our loving nature, and Venus is our relationship energy and what we find beautiful and what we desire. And Uranus, again, is that sort of breaking ground, breaking new ground. So it's really saying that that there might be some issues around relationships that are brought up that need to be addressed. And really, if we can kind of be that Piscean sun, if we can really embody like compassionate, loving energy, while at the same time with that moon in Virgo, moon in Virgo is humble. It also discerns, but it feels that it's as if there's an opportunity here with the Venus squared Uranus to allow relationships to, in some ways, break new ground, to possibly advance or move forward in some new way that, especially with Venus and Aquarius, that just brings more freedom into our relationships. And again, this has to be done in a very elevated way with the sun sextiling Pluto, because Pluto can be about manipulation and control. But with the sextile to the sun, it means, we can really stand in our power without having to use those means or use those tactics. And if we can really, do that, then I feel that this Venus squared Uranus could be a time where, we can really value in our relationships honoring each other as individuals, honoring each other's freedom and independence, and not sort of have to, just in some ways reinventing our relationships in a way that gives more room and more freedom to one another. So that's what I wanted to tell you about the full moon in Virgo. I hope you all have a good full moon and give yourself the space to really digest this full moon and to be with this full moon energy, and to be able to stay open-hearted while at the same time, especially with the moon in Virgo, the moon is about how we feel secure and how we feel supported within ourselves, from ourselves, what we give to ourselves, what we need in order to feel safe and secure. So with the moon in Virgo, that's a lot about taking care of our health, getting the rest we need, proper nutrition, exercise, and really just kind of enjoying nurturing ourselves. So hopefully we're all taking the time to do some of that at this time. And I wish you very happy full moon. And I will see you at the next video. If you like my channel, please subscribe. Thank you so much. Take care.